saw the world from the other side, but it's alright.
Also, I think it was last night or the night before, I'm able to hear, especially during the witch hours or whatever, something as if it's running on all fours, but it's heavy. And it's like swinging around the house as if it's a jungle or whatever. Sometimes I'll just be like, okay, maybe it's just the neighbor moving stuff around, but I'm like, every single night she's moving stuff around.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you said, people have no idea how much stuff is just in there.
Yeah, there's some thinking that their houses is just getting haunted and stuff has been in there all along. It's just, as they said that, they're just hungrier, and therefore they're more active in trying to get essence out of people to fear. So, that's moving things around and so on. I'm getting that you're definitely doing, good job with your containment and things. But I'm getting in my this whatever that Nellie's still the weak link. That went down. So I got a little sharp pain there for some reason. Here.
It does seem.
Things right there.
Especially when you push down.
So, see, you, Nellie. So, so there's a lot of things that she picks up. Probably next session, I'm going to have to check her containment again. Yeah, something's weakening her containment. Let's see. No, yours is on point. So, yeah, go ahead. Again, people are potential Smiths, like in the Matrix. And I would just say that that's literally what you're experiencing. The Smiths, these guys are easy to be overridden by the density around, because they don't, they really don't even understand the importance of actually containing and the work that I'm doing. So they end up just being pawns, and that's really what's going on. I think when you guys were at the festivities the other night, that was what's going on as well, with these individuals wanting to touch, even though you had clearly stated that you why instead of touching. And again, individuals insisting on touching you, in other words, insisting on invading your space is literally just inconsiderate. But having so many people do it definitely was quite suspicious, which means that these individuals are, and okay, so got, well, did you overwrite them? Anyway, I'm going to deal with this. Yeah. Okay, I enjoy it because you guys, I get hold of you. You're done. Thanks for showing up. I don't have to look for you. And they have been ramping it up because the desperation has been ramped up. They're running out of essence, running out of food. So, they're desperate enough to go after individuals who are clients of mine who have more energy, because I've taught you how to protect your energy. All right. So let's get some of the ladies, associates, to answer some of the questions just for the viewing audience. Okay. So there's been a ramping up. It has to do with the starvation, vibrations on Dunya, Gaia, Earth, changing, going up. And with that, things that are vibrating very dense have a very, very hard time surviving. So there's that kind of desperation that's going on. Even certain individuals have been focusing on you, as we talked about before, not in the same nefarious way that they were focusing before. Now it's just, just like desperation having to do with, where the sources of essence at, and they're picking up that you have a lot.
My session earlier this morning, when you kept saying the left side, it reminded me that when I sit out in the sun, that side of my body, the left side, bubbles up. I'll contain or salt it and it'll go away, but it happened twice when sitting on the sun. Blisters, they start to like form, like it starts to like blister up.
Oh, okay, so probably more like welts, because if the blisters, they usually have some clear fluid in there. Welts are, can be various shapes, kind of, some of them can be a little long in shape or something like that, and they tend to itch. Is that similar?
It didn't itch, I just saw it, and I was just like, oh, okay. It didn't have any liquid, and it didn't itch or anything. It just, my skin started to bubble up on like my waist hip area on the left side. It happened twice, so I didn't know why it was happening.
Well, that's a purge also. So when you're getting welts, those are purges, and you use the salt bag over that area, and then it went down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So literally, whatever's that's still in there, and there's a bit that's still in the avatar in the body that needs to come up. This needs to come up, and so I'm assuming that maybe the sun is helping that process of getting a yes. Well, I'm going to leave the other part out, but it said the sun is vibrating and different. That's because there's some other information having to do with the sun, but this is as much as I'm going to. But it's vibrating different.
Okay.
And I know that there's a number of people noticed since I believe last year for sure that the sunlight seems to be a lot brighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've noticed that yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, as far as like brighter, I don't know if it feels hotter, but just definitely seems to be a lot brighter.
Yeah. Lately when I've been sitting out in the sun, I don't feel like I'm being burned or like if it's hot. If anything, it feels like energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's like touching my skin.
Good. Good. And so you are absorbing energy from, I would say, from the sun, and I get a yes on that. So that's good.
Okay.
Density cannot absorb what's going on with the sun right now. So there's a reason, for yourself and then certain others feeling. Now, would you say you feel a little more energetic after you've been out in the sun?
Yes, definitely more energetic.
Yeah. So because the vibration is very, very different. There's something else going on, having to do with the sun. That's very positive, positive for those who have enough light in them. Those who don't, it doesn't really do much for them.
Mm.
Anything they might want to stay out of the sun. But, okay. So that bit of information. And it's okay if you're getting these. Well, I mean, the welts again. There's so many ways of purging, and some might think, well, it seems like everything that is considered not to be cool is positive in my view. That's because the system tells you that everything that is positive is negative.
Besides, what's the point of whining about it? It doesn't help anything.
Or whining about what?
Usually people like to just whine about stuff, coughing.
Yeah, coughing, headaches, and gas, and so on and so forth. If you're aware of what's going on, you just get to the point where there's nothing to complain about. Even individuals who used to complain about, oh, I have a headache, or whatever, or anything that seemed to be a little uncomfortable was, cause to complain or worry about one's health. When there's so many things that go on have to do with your avatar, trying to literally stay balanced by pushing things out of it. And I remember when I was like in my early teens, the whole idea of coughing when I wasn't aware that, colds were an attachment at the time. But I always felt that I was coughing something out to benefit the body. But they have these concoctions and syrups and things like that to keep you from coughing. And I remember having to take those when I was, since I was a little kid, or when I was a little kid. And then, of course, if you get older, you make your own decisions about, taking stuff like that. And I eventually just veered away from cough medicines and cough drops and so on and so forth. It is inconvenient if you're at a workspace or something and you're hacking all through the day. But if you're aware that it's a purge, you end up not hacking as much. It's like the mindset helps expel whatever it is that's inside of you, but not just out into the atmosphere. If you're going to expel it, you expel it into vortex and no return.
Mm.
So with that, last time I had anything that resembled a cold, may well have been, I don't know, maybe 13 years ago or something like that. And at that time, that's when I really realized that I was dealing with an attachment because someone sent me something very toxic and, in a package. And when I opened it, whatever it was, the attachment got it onto my energy. And I spent, 3 days like purging and pulling things off, and then finally got it off. And then just realized for sure, I said, okay, I know what this is. That, cold is an attachment. So many things that are considered diseases and so on are attachments, and I deal with them as such as the attachments being consciousness. So it can be a conglomeration of consciousness. So, think, oh, I got a cold, and there's this one thing sitting on my, in my energy that's causing me, but they come sometimes like a fleet, sometimes, just numbers up to maybe 5 attachments, 5 entities in affecting your energy or affecting areas of your body. So whenever I'm pulling, I'm realizing I'm not just pulling one thing, I'm pulling groups of things out.
Oh.
So anyway, with that said, where were we?
Oh, I just wanted to say, Chief, this is the best my health has ever been. Ever since I started healing with you, I haven't got sick at all.
Perfect. Yeah, because sickness is literally attachments. It's an imbalance. Something getting in there, screwing around with your energy. And again, containment does wonders for keeping these things at bay. And we've bumped you up to, porcupine containment and so on, just to even improve that.
Come here and waste your time for sustenance you will not find. Under covers the night.